Today I want to look at 7 up-and-coming country artists that I think are poised to have a huge year, a huge decade, huge lifelong careers. There's this lyric from an old song called Deconstruction by a guy named Justin McRoberts that has haunted me my whole life. He says, "Every critic with his pen and his computer talks about effectiveness and not about the art."
Every critic with his pen or his computer.
That seeped into my teenage brain, and I am always like, am I really thinking about the art, or am I just talking about when something is effective, when the numbers are moving? And I can honestly say that every artist I'm talking about in today's video, I like the art that they are making, but I'm also gonna be talking about their effectiveness, because they're all kind of popping. And there's a million artists that are making incredible music, but the needle is not really moving. These are ones where it's like, man, the music's good, and the numbers are good, and this train is gonna be a fun one to get on for new fans. And the first one up, totally undeniable, is Wyatt Flores.
I'm taking life lessons.
I've been loving Wyatt's music for a while now, ever since I heard Travelin' Kid almost 2 years ago. And in the last 6 months especially, Wyatt has just put one foot in front of the other. His last album, Life Lessons, was my number 5 of all last year, filled with these kind of confessional songs, and he's got this incredibly immediate voice. That would be the word I'd use.
Well, I guess you didn't mean it when you said that you love me.
He so easily just communicates the strife and the pain, but also the fun and the wonderment of growing up. And I mean, he just dropped that project at the end of last year. He's already releasing new music again. This new song, Milwaukee, has been huge out the
You
gate.
can aim my eyes for watching you leave. Aim my shit and chase you down.
And it's got that kind of mountain coyote, almost Ian Munsick, like, yoo sound in it, layered in with a real hook of a chorus where he's saying like, please don't hate my heart. You can hate every other part of me, but not my heart. And his band is amazing live, and they take chances musically, and I'm just so excited to see where he keeps going, because I feel like in the same way that we saw Charles Wesley Godwin kind of be known to the masses as like, oh, that's the guy that's opening for Zach Bryan a lot. It's been cool to watch Wyatt sort of be Charles's opener a lot in this past year, and now just be like a rocket ship that's taking off. Then we've got the Red Clay Strays.
She keeps on loving me.
The Red Clay Strays are one of the best live shows I have seen in years. And lead singer Brandon Coleman has this extremely strange but entrancing and exciting Elvis-y persona on stage, with a voice that can modulate between a real croon and real soft-spoken, romantic, sweet, like 1950s love songs into just wailing.
Don't care if I die.
It is just so exciting to listen to. And you've no doubt heard the song Wondering Why all over social media. It's just a true moment of musical greatness. From the cadence of the silver spoon, golden rule,
She comes from silver spoon, golden rule.
to the huge big note that starts the chorus, and a sweet lyric about wondering, man, how did I end up with this girl that I don't deserve? And the rest of their music is just as thoughtful, sometimes exciting, sometimes romantic, sometimes faithful and reflective, all with a sound that is vintagey but doesn't feel vintagey. It feels very much of this moment. And the reason I'm starting with those 2 artists is because I'm very excited to say they're actually going to be featured in Country Star now, which if you remember or you never heard it in the first place, I'm working with this game called Country Star for the last year. It's a mobile game where you're playing country music on your phone and kind of tapping along to the rhythm. It's so fun, but they're actually letting me do a full-on takeover for the next couple weeks. We got Grady's mix, and I got to curate 6 songs that are going in the next tour pass, and I gotta say, I freaking love the 6 in my tour pass. So we got Please Don't Go by Wyatt Flores.
Times are getting hard, hits you like a bullet through your heart.
We've got Stone's Throw by the Red Clay Strays.
Been gone way too long.
Kerosene by Miranda Lambert.
Forget your high society, I'm soaking it in kerosene.
Had to get some Gabe Lee in the mix. We did his song Kinda Man.
My buddy sent me an old photograph.
Stick Season by Noah Kahan, and I look forward to all the arguments of why is this song in Country Star?
Can I Vermont, but it's the season of the sticks alive.
But I thrive on that argument, so bring it on. And then the 6th song, and this was their idea, is Series of Episodes by me.
I'm here in this room, 422.
They were like, Grady, should we put your song in the game? And I was like, I mean, if you want to. So when I was over in London last time, I actually worked with Will, who kind of does the beat mapping, and we turned a series of episodes. The little meme song that I wrote with Ernest for that video last year, we turned it into an actual playable level, which you can play now. Or technically you can play it on February 23rd, because that's when the Tour Pass launches. I'm sure the normal players of the game that like don't watch me on YouTube are gonna be like, who's this bro? And why does he get to do a takeover of the game? So maybe go make me look good and download it either from the App Store or the Play Store. You can play it on whatever and go play some of these songs. And also thanks to everyone over in London for helping me winnow down from my list of like 50 something recommendations down to 6. Next on my list is Alexandra Kay. Alexandra Kay is someone that I knew of, probably reductively, as, oh, that girl that makes coffee and sings on TikTok.
I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean.
And granted, she always sounded great, but I've just seen over the years, sometimes people with really huge active social media followings tend to have fans that aren't that musically engaged. They just enjoy that their favorite person is good looking and charming and makes cute little videos that they relate to. But probably in the last third of 2023, I just started getting DM'd and commented all the time by people being like, Grady, you gotta listen to Alexandra Kay's album, All I've Ever Known. And when I did, I was actually quite surprised at what a quality pop country record this is.
To 10 million miles apart, all those wheels up in the air.
In the scheme of country music fans, I definitely tend to like the stuff that's a little more rough around the edges, a little bit more traditional. And this is very much proudly a pop country mainstream record. But then at the same time, it's not at all. It's completely independent. Ultimately, all music really needs to be is good and honest. And it's sort of an epic divorce record.
'Cause all I've ever known is fit the mold, play the role.
And a little bit in the same vein as Kelsey Ballerini's Rolling Up the Welcome Mat, you're kind of finding Alexandra in the midst of the decision to make this huge life change.
Maybe I can hurt forever if it keeps you.
And feeling the tragic loss of what is going to be her ending her relationship. And trying to gin up in herself the resolve to actually go through with this. There's tons of ballads on here, everything from Ever Leave to the title track. Again, when you look at numbers, Alexandra is doing this and there's no big label behind it. I'm guessing they're all fighting over her at the moment. But I'm very struck by the fact that a record in this style that sounds like it might have come out of a major label deal didn't, and that Alexandra is kind of selling thousands of tickets everywhere she goes, getting millions of streams, and this is still an independent operation. I feel like she's this sleeping giant in the country scene, and I feel like not enough people are talking about it. Then let's talk about Zach Top.
There's the sun, there's the moon.
The word you're gonna hear around Zach Top is neo-traditionalism. Zach is bringing this 90s revival sound into the mainstream in a pretty huge way. Some people you might kind of group in with him if you were thinking of his peers would be Drake Milligan, Randall King, even Cody Johnson. Zach had some songs last year that caught my ear, like There's the Sun, which is lovely, and Bad Luck, which is kind of slinky and cool.
Good rollers always letting me down.
But it's his new single, Sounds Like the Radio, that is very quickly putting him on the map.
'Cause it sounds like the radio.
Because it's a super traditional sounding song actually getting played on the radio. He's one of the flagship artists of this new label, Leo 33. I think that's how you say it. And they're doing a great job of getting the word out there because on social media and stuff, he's kind of a good status symbol if you're a real country fan to say like, you're into Zach Top. And just like it was fun watching John Party come up and seeing, hey, young people actually like this kind of music. They might actually like the steel and the fiddle. They might like that country drawl and kind of deep baritone. It's fun watching Zach Top come up. Then I want to talk about Evan Honer.
I go to church just to go, the pastor's talking, but I don't know.
Evan Honer is not someone I would describe as neo-traditional. He's going to be more on the Noah Kahan-ish folksy side of things. You can call it country or not. I don't get the sense that those artists really care how they're classified. But Evan is an incredible songwriter, I think because he has a really astute ability to view the world through other people's eyes, whether that's on his song Brother or reflecting on an old man named Mr. Myers.
I'm Mr. Myers, how are you?
Or observing a young woman who's faking every smile on You'd Never Know.
and stumbling through a town she hates with the guy that she forgot his name.
And he's also observant of himself, mining his own quirks and insecurities on songs like I Don't Know Shit About Cars.
I ain't scared of the dark, I still break my own heart. I don't know shit about cars.
Although his biggest streaming song was actually his cover of Jersey Giant with Julia DeGrazia, which, despite the fact that Childers officially gave the song to Elle King, has kind of become the standard version of Jersey Giant that's available on the internet.
Just 2 hours to get there, babe. I can make it back by an hour or so.
And that's an example of what I would say is Evan Honer's savvy, and also I just think his prolific work ethic. I see so many independent artists that don't know how to get started, how to build a following, and somehow this dude makes content all the effing time. It's like he records at this crazy rate, he's putting out so many reels and TikToks, and then he's also making music videos, and he's also on the road all the time, and then holding songwriting retreats and writing more songs and recording more music. It's just an amazing clip to watch, and I believe it's going to carry him very far. And then we got Treaty Oak Revival.
You're paying for a glorified prison cell.
Treaty Oak Revival, or Treaty Oak as people will call them, are a band that came from the Texas scene, and they definitely are on the rock end of the Texas scene more than the twang end. Longtime viewers are familiar with my term, co-bros. That's what I call the fans from like Texas A&M and UT that are like, Co-Wetzel does it different, and are really just obsessed with kind of drunken, fratty rock music, like Co, or Giovanni and the Hired Guns, or Pecos and the Rooftops. And I feel like a couple different times now, we have had bands that seemed like they were at a drum roll in the Texas scene and that maybe they were going to have a big mainstream moment. And with the exception of Co-Wetzel, that really hasn't happened. But I feel like it is happening with Treaty Oak Revival. When I saw them live last year, I was relieved and excited that their showmanship and their live singing and just the fun of their show was as good as it is. Was the show a drunken mess of like 80% bros pushing each other around and like 20% girls in leather? Yes. Was that an extremely fun energy to be around? Yes. But none of that would matter. None of the hype would matter if the music wasn't good. And the music is good.
He puts on his wedding ring and she's putting on her clothes.
It's raw and rocking and not overproduced. It's dirty. It's ashamed of itself. It's proud of itself. They have one huge song called Missed Call that's very much becoming a standard in the Texas circuit.
Well, I'm just tired of being just another missed call.
And their new album, Have a Nice Day, proved they're not just a one-time success story. This album, if I had to compare it to something else in this video, is almost most like Alexandra Kay's Have a Nice Day in that it's kind of detailing his divorce with sort of angry and sad songs where he's like, I'll see you in court. This is produced by Taylor Kimball, who is a staple in this scene and produces Co-Wetzel's music. And I would argue is low-key one of the most influential producers in the entire country scene. And to the point of effectiveness I mentioned at the beginning of the video, they're just getting a lot of damn streams. Last person I want to mention is Maggie Antone.
He's got me on the verge of an existential.
Ever since she broke out on TikTok with a viral cover of Lady May, Maggie Antone has been one of the most intriguing young voices to watch in the independent country space. And in the last year, she has started releasing her originals, and they're excellent. Maggie just has so much personality in her voice. It can be delicate and sad. It can be sassy and funny. She just has a vocal agility and can switch from like a coo to a giggle to a snarl so quickly, and it makes her music so dynamic. Her style kind of reminds me a little bit of early Casey Musgraves. It's dry and funny, but real and sad. And she showed her humorous side on If Only You Played Football as well as You Play Girls.
You may not be on the bench thinking you're the only one in this world.
And then she showed her angry, heartbroken side on Suburban Outlaw.
No, you ain't an outlaw, boy, you're just redneck suburban trash.
This song really took off on social media, and the streams on it are huge. No, they are not freaking Morgan Wallen huge, but for an independent artist, they're pretty damn big and impressive. Maggie is like a master at marketing herself, kind of without trying, just being like sad in her bedroom. And now she's got this song out with Brendan Walter called I Don't Want to Hear About It that is gorgeous.
I think about you way more than I should.
This recent stuff is produced by Carrie Kay, whose name you might see in the credits of Stick Season by Noah Kahn, and it just sounds sophisticated and fresh. Maggie recently signed with 30 Tigers, and I look forward to watching her career continue to just take off. Other people I was kind of thinking about for this video were Zandy Hollop, Cash Culpepper, Dylan Marlowe, Ella Langley, but Whatever, these were just the main 7 people that I wanted to talk about today. But there's so many people making such good music. Also, for no reason at all, I feel compelled to say, I think I have spoken to every single person I have mentioned in this video. And I used to always do these like bias checks where I was like, hey guys, just so you know, I once sent a DM to this artist. You can decide if I'm being biased in my coverage. And I haven't said that for a long time, but my life is very different than when I used to do that. And I don't know why I feel like, to be honest with you all, I'm just saying, yeah, I know a lot of these people that I'm talking about. But I only got to know them because I admired their talent and at some point we crossed paths. So there, I've confessed to you all that yeah, I am probably on some level biased, but I try to keep it 100 with everybody, whether I've met them or not. And I try to keep it 100 with you guys, and I love you guys, and I'm just loving making my videos lately. I'm just dialed, enjoying YouTube. So I'll see you guys with more very soon. And go play my tour pass in Country Star. Okay, bye.